Buonasera.
Buonasera. Ciao. Hello.
Ciao, we are both in Italy. And how does it get any better? Actually, Ashley is not in Italy anymore. She's in Sicily, which is totally different.
It is totally different. Totally different.
It is. How are you, Ashley?
I'm good. It's been very intense with lots of entities around since I've been here as well in Sicily. So it's been a very interesting day, but like having the tools of talk to the entities have definitely gifted me way more ease than was actually possible. So
With this
whatever.
live as well.
Totally. We just had like internet issues and all this kind of stuff. And we just use some of the tools and ask the entities to step back. And it's interesting because what we started getting is we were talking before we come on, and I was like, okay, like, do we actually know the 5 reasons? Like,
Like,
we
what
should
are the reasons, in fact?
the reasons we kind of created this, and there was this energy to do these lives to really gift you guys like the awareness of what the spirit world actually truly is and what it can actually invite and contribute to you. And so we're looking at these 5 lives, and I was like, oh, the internet's going funny. And then I was like, wait a second, what can we receive right now? And it just kind of opened this space. Oh, and like if you guys perceive that energy as well, it just opened up this space where the internet started working. So it's really interesting, like including like entities in your life in the spirit world. And when we talk about entities, we're also talking about like your business, your body, your bank accounts, your relationships, because what most people don't recognize is like an entity is just an energy that's defined. And when we exclude the spirit world per se, meaning ghosts or, you know, whatever that is,
Invisible. The
visible,
invisible side of everything.
yeah, we're actually excluding the invisible side of everything. We're excluding all the things that we can't see, including kind of like our business. Because, in a sense, like you can't really see your business. You can't really see, um, I mean, you can see your body, but you do exclude this beautiful invisible world and including the universe that actually always desires to contribute to you becoming more, becoming greater, having more ease. So I think where I'd really love to begin with
Mhm.
these lives is like the number one reason you shouldn't talk to ghosts is because you access greater receiving. And who wants that, right?
No, but you should be able to do everything on your own to prove that you're valuable. Oh my god. And what if the
So
exact
can you talk?
opposite would be true? What if by just being you, you are the most valuable creature in this world, and you could actually contribute to each and everything just by receiving the gifts that are available and the contribution everything and everyone can be to you, including entities. What
Yeah.
I would like to like I always saw that we think, oh, I'm just not aware of entities. I will just exclude entities because I don't want to have to deal with them. But actually, it's like having a candle and not wanted to like see the candle anymore. You like put all like you throw a lot of water on it, and you switch off the candle. But actually, there is a lot of hole of water all around that actually stopped everything, stopped all the fire, not just the candle.
Mm.
So actually, whenever we have a resistance to receiving something, in this case entities, was that we actually cut off receiving in so many different areas. So tonight we'll be speaking about money and the gifts, but actually how much more are you excluding than entities that you've never been aware of until now, that if
Yeah.
you would like be willing to look at it and be in allowance of it, will actually open up the space for you to receive in all areas of your life.
Mm.
How would that be?
I adore that. And I think the question is for you guys to begin to play with. It's like, what entities are you actually excluding from your life that if you didn't would actually open you up to greater receiving? Because what I didn't recognize is I was also excluding the entity of me, like because we are also an entity. We're just an embodied entity. When we say entity, you can also call that infinite being or soul or spirit. But when we like exclude ghosts because we decide we need protection, or we're afraid of them because of what we've been taught by our mum or our dad, or what's been projected at us, really the question becomes like, what other entities are you actually excluding that if you didn't would allow you to access greater receiving? And what I really recognize from, I remember the very first talk to the entities class I did, the facilitator said, the way you treat entities is the way you treat yourself. And
Oh,
I
wow.
was, oh, wow, like I've been ignoring the spirit world, dismissing the spirit world, like giving them power over me. And I was like, wow, that's exactly what I'm doing to myself. I'm ignoring me, I'm dismissing me, I'm excluding me. And it kind of, that like opened up this entire new world of like, wow, I can't actually access all of myself until I'm willing to actually receive all energies. And that includes these energies of the unseen, the unsaid, the unacknowledged, and often like kind of undisclosed, like spirit world. So
Yeah.
yeah, what
And
entities are you including?
how much of our gifts are we not willing to look at or to acknowledge just because we don't want to, like, we don't receive gifts from anyone,
Mm,
but we don't receive and acknowledge our gifts, like the gift we be just by being. So what
yeah.
gift are you that if you would acknowledge it will open you to receive the gifts the world and entities have to offer to you?
Wow. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you all destroy it, uncreate it, please?
Yes, please.
Right, wrong,
Right
good,
and
bad.
wrong, good and bad, bottom pop, all night shirts, boys, poets, and beyond. And the thing about it is that as soon as I open myself to, like I said yes to the spirit world, actually my receiving, even with people, grew. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And
Mm,
people got more ease time to get to me and also to engage with me and have business with me and have like offer me money. They were more like happy to give me money, like, oh, this is interesting. And like, wow, how much money are you cutting off but by not being willing to receive the contribution and gifts entities and even money entities have to offer to you?
yeah. I noticed that too, and it's kind of like going on the conversation, like with what we were saying. It's like if you exclude anything or anyone, you're actually cutting yourself off to everything and everyone. So
Yeah.
it's like really like this whole like, what if like this was so far beyond ghosts or the spirit world or your fear? Like, what if you were willing to actually kind of go beyond seeing, like, you know, even just the idea of talk to the entities about just ghosts, and you're willing to actually start to include everyone in that, like all entities in that, your body, your business, your bank accounts, your relationships, like it teaches you how to like access more in every single area. And it was so strange for me, like actually saying yes to including the spirit world, that all of a sudden like all of this money started flowing in. And it's not logical and it's not linear. And I know a lot of people say to me like, but how can talking to ghosts or how can including the spirit world actually invite more money in? And I'm like, well, ultimately at the end of the day, you're inviting more receiving because you're more
Mhm.
open to all of these kind of this beautiful unseen world. And an example, like when we talk about money, money can be an energy of
Mhm.
ease, an energy of joy that they can gift you. Money can also be cash or currency. Money can be jewelry. Money can be
Mhm.
gold. And there's this, I mean, I have so many stories with this, like so many stories of like where entities have gifted me thousands and thousands of dollars. But recently, just before I left to come overseas on this overseas trip, I got 3 letters in the mail in the space of about 2 or 3 weeks, and I haven't facilitated a talk to the entities class for quite a while, and my business was like, "You need to facilitate more talk to the entities classes when you go to Europe." So I have 3 scheduled, and one of them is with the beautiful Bianca. And I said, "Okay, guys, well, if you really desire me to facilitate these classes, like, what can I contribute to you and what can you contribute to me?" And I
Mhm.
kind of received like their gratitude and their excitement for me actually just facilitating these classes and actually acknowledging them. So in the mail 2 weeks before I left to come on this trip, I got 3 letters. One from the Australian government saying that they were giving me a refund on my tax that shouldn't technically get a refund on my tax. Like, I should be paying tax, but the government is giving me money. The second letter was also from the government saying that Centrelink, which is money I had to pay when I was a student, basically, the government used to give me money, and then I would pay money back depending on how much I earned that week. This was 10 years ago. So the second letter was from the government, from Centrelink, saying, we're giving you a few $1,000s from 10 years ago when we, they calculated incorrectly. And the third was from my old job when I was a registered nurse at the hospital. I quit that 3.5 years ago to become a facilitator, saying, you've been paid incorrectly. You should have been receiving more money. You'll be getting a refund on all the hours you worked over those 5 years before I quit. And this was all within 2 weeks. This was all within a week of me leaving. Like, I knew straight away that, wow, this is the joy and the gratitude the spirit world actually have for me facilitating these classes, for me engaging with them more, through me acknowledging them. And this is where it doesn't have to be logical or linear, because I think so many people go, but how does that equal money?
Like, do they come with money in hand and giving it to you? I had that too at first. So like, how is that possible?
Yeah. And I mean, even when I got the letters, I was like, what? And but I knew. So it's like, what, like, really, like, who and what are you excluding, that if you no longer actually excluded them,
could show up in an infinite ways of receiving. You cut off just a little. Yeah. And I have a lot of stories as well. Like this house I'm in, I asked, well, house can also be an entity. And this house found us, and then it contributes to us ever since. So we've never received a bill in the post thingy. We always receive refunds on bills and checks. So actually we never pay like the light or the gas, because actually it's always a refund. And it's amazing. And also with classes, I like, if there something pings, I ask, like, okay, entities, if you want me to be there, just financial funded, like, contribute to that. And it shows up in as you said, in the most weird ways, and it's pure magic. And you get that that's the contribution. They are contributing this way, and the more you acknowledge, the more it has space to grow even and contribute to you even more. And wow, I wonder how can it show up for you guys.
I wonder, like, with that sense of curiosity and that space of magic and miracles, like, really, like, how else can gifts be given? Where else can you actually begin to receive, including like receiving yourself? And this is where, like, it's really this conversation that is so big and so broad and has everything to do with ghosts and entities in the spirit world and nothing to do with them at the same time. Like, if that makes sense. So I guess we will leave it there for tonight.
Yeah, that's a nice reason to not talk to entities. Who wants money?
Who wants more money or ease or refunds or the government giving you money? Not me.
Me either.
More of themselves.
Oh, wow. How much more can we receive? And so happy to have had this episode together. It's every time we speak about that, it's so yummy. And thank you guys for being here. And see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. CET for 2-second reason.
Second reason, never to engage with the spirit world or yourself.
Or yourself. Good evening, guys. Adore you. And for Italian, it's coming tomorrow, the translation.
Ciao.
Ciao. Buona serata.